Hello everyone, my name is Jungho Lee. I'm working in the virtualization lab in Yongsan University in Korea. Today I decided to share my recent work through the YouTubes. This series will be up to 4 and 5 sessions of presentation. This is the first session. I hope you have a valuable inspiration with this. Today's topic is a preliminary investigation of human adaptations for various virtualizing video see-through HMDs. I will be talking about the human adaptation in video see-through HMD. Video see-through HMD is a main issue of my work. I am deeply interested in these types of the HMD. And especially I am interested in the effect of the video see-through into the human performances and human factors and psychologies, those kind of things. And then today I will tell you about the investigation of the relationship between the visual sense and human task performances, that is visual motor. This is the outline of today's talk. Let me start it with the brief introduction of the see-through HMDs and followed by the research motivation and experiment and result. And I will close my talk with conclusion and future work. To get things started, let's talk about the video see-through HMD. That is, as you know, the head-mount display, a kind of head-mount display that has video see-through cameras in front, and they capture the real scene in front, forward, and convert it into the digital images and display on HMD in real time. So you see the real world in digital form. And there is another type of a see-through, the optical see-through HMD. That is widespread thanks to the Google glasses. In this type, the users can view the real scene through the glasses, and the virtual information is projected on that. So you see the real and virtual information at the same time. These two types of technology are quite different from each other. As compared to the optical see-through, the video see-through HMD has two main advantages. One is it offers the natural mixture of the real and virtual scene. That's because both are digital. And second, it offers a fully immersive perspective view with a wide viewing angle. Is up to 110 degrees or more. So it can lead users to immerse the mixed reality effectively. However, unfortunately, the video see-through HMD has several critical drawbacks. The poor display resolution deteriorates the sense of realism. And second, the time delay in display may generate the serious motion sickness. And finally, there is unavoidable visual displacement. That is a gap between the real eyes and the virtual eyes composed of see-through cameras. It can lead users to the sensory conflict between the visual sense and proprioception. So, let's briefly talk about the visual displacement issue. Our brains are wired to associate the somatic nerve through the whole body. So, what happens if your eyes move to a new position? Users can experience this sensation exactly same when wearing the video see-through HMD. In such a case, the human proprioception is thrown to confusion. Proprioception is simply explained by the perceptual awareness of body structure and movement. For example, where my arms are existing and where to these are moving, or how strong my muscles are engaged on those kind of things. In other words, the proprioception refers to one's intrinsic sensory criterion of body structure and movement. So, as shown in this figure, when wearing the video see-through HMD, if you try to grab on the object in front, according to the proprioception, you stretch out your hands toward it, but you may fail because there is a gap between your expectation and the real position of your hands. That's because of the sensory conflict. But as time passed, you will get accustomed to the new viewing point as you try more and more. Human adaptation will accommodate those kind of sensory conflict as time passed after all. So my challenging is to find an answer for the question, how much visual displacement can humans adapt in daily life without serious trouble? In other words, can people easily adapt to the transition of a new eye position on the order of say a dozen millimeters? This question is very critical to the developers in laying out the basis of the position of the see-through cameras on the HMD. So I tried to answer those questions through the series of experiments. So I mean, this study is an empirical study. Actually, several prior studies have demonstrated the perceptual adaptation using wedge prism glasses. That is changing the direction of viewing point. So sensory conflict between the visual sense and the proprioception, the human body direction occurs. So you can investigate the human adaptation pattern. And in addition, the Rowland demonstrated the adaptation to a single fixed visual displacement in video see-through HMD. But no prior studies have been able to answer this question. So what is the limit in daily life? And for the investigation for the various types of video see-through visual displacement. So we have used our main prototype, our build-up prototype HMD, and then we have designed the test conditions using orthogonal array. And then we have measured the test performances according to the prior work's experimental paradigm. Alright, so this is our prototype. 30 frames per second of refresh rate, and then it has a 70mm protrusion of the see-through cameras, and then 640 and 480 display resolution is quite poorer than the recent version of the prototype, video see-through prototype, but that was okay to find out the adaptation pattern. And then parallel camera straightforward located in front of the HMD, and then it has a convergence distance of 40 centimeters. So it doesn't deteriorate of the task performance. That's because every single tasks have done outside of the 40 centimeters. And then it has a 48 horizontal and 18 degree of vertical FO. And here are the experimental conditions. We have designed 4 levels of visual transition, 4 levels of transition of the visual displacement. And then we have considered 4 types the visual displacement as well. Transforming the see-through cameras in terms of x-axis and y and z-axis. And then one more thing, IOD, interocular distance, meaning the distance between 2 cameras in the stereo camera system. That is corresponding to the IPD, interpupillary distance in human structure, the distance between 2 eyes. And then we have employed the orthogonal array rules to reduce the test numbers. if you try to consider all possible combinations of conditions, 4 power of 4, so it will be up to 1048, 1024 conditions, combinations of conditions. It is almost impossible to cover all of them. But thanks to the orthogonal array, we have orthogonal array. The orthogonal array allow us to use only 16 sets of combinations of conditions and effectively representing the all possible combinations. That's because of the very unique characteristics of orthogonal array. That is the assigning every single effect of the test conditions equally to each other. For more information, please refer the Google search. All right, and then we performed the experiment composed of 2 types of task performance. One is the foot placement task, and another is finger touch. To measure foot placement performance, participants were asked to step onto the 15 centimeter high box, step on, and then step down to the target on the ground, indicated by markers. So if the participants are failed to lay down their foot inside of the 30 millimeter inside of the markers, that is considered to be failure. This task repeated 20 times. And then, and next, the finger touch performance measures. In finger touch, the participants were asked to touch on the red block displayed on the screen, touch screen, and this block moved to another position in 5 seconds. So participants should touch exactly in the center of the red block in the 5 seconds. And this task repeated 10 times as well, and then 60 centimeters of the distance from the chair to the monitor. So it has nothing to do with the convergence range of the prototype. That is 40 centimeters, but it's 60 centimeters. So the participants have no trouble in the look at the red block on the screen. Alright, so then this graph shows the result. There are no significant differences between the 4 levels of transition and 4 types of visual displacement at all. So, for example, even the 55 disparity of the virtual eye, I mean the transforming the cameras to the x-axis 55 millimeters, and participants were able to rapidly modify their visual motor to suit the new viewpoint, as compared to the 0 millimeter conditions, 76%. So yeah, almost the same. There is no differences in terms of the level of the transition, and then types of visual displacement as well. No differences are found. And then adaptation pattern. We have investigate the adaptation. In the early stage of the task, when it comes to the foot placement task, the participants have some trouble in perform the foot placement task. But within about 2 minutes, participants were getting accustomed to the new viewpoint, and then their accuracy in performance increased rapidly. But we haven't found the adaptation pattern in finger touch task. That's because we have designed the finger touch task too easy. So we remade the finger touch task in the next stage of the study. So let me introduce the result in the next session. And then conclusion and future work. No significant differences between visual displacement were found. And human adaptation allowed the participants to recover from sensory conflict in 5 minutes. The result would help users to set up camera positions. In other words, developers doesn't need to seriously consider the position of the see-through cameras in HMD in the range of the 50 millimeters about. Right. And then future work, extending the investigation range up to 30 centimeters transition. That was the next investigation of my work. And then let me show you the result in the next session. And then improving test method and types, is necessary. And then we need to consider the long-term effect. And then we have found some interesting observation. One is viewing distance influences the difficulty of the task. So in the foot placement test, participants had longer distance than the finger touch test. This difference gives rise to the difference in adaptation pattern. Yeah, maybe. In the case of the finger touch test, the more precise test would likely have shown a more distinct adaptation pattern, as I told you before. And then some participants even did not aware how far in each direction virtual eyes moved. That means it gives us the very beneficial implications of the free form position of the video see-through camera. In other words, users doesn't care. Users do not care the position of the see-through camera. They can recover the sensory conflict in a short period of time, so they don't have any serious trouble in playing in the daily life. And then there is another very interesting observation. That is partial adaptation that causes an illusion of body distortion. During the test, when you look at a new part of your body, cognitive consistency is temporarily broken between the adapted part and new part. So, for a few seconds, you feel your body structure to be twisted. This is similar to something Harris found earlier using wedge prisms. After the foot test, so that your perception of your foot has been adapted to some degree. When you first look at your arms, it strikes you as being in a strange position. At this moment, some people have the interesting experience of feeling that their arms is linked to the chest, or their foot strikes up in very strange position, those kind of things. So maybe like this. Okay. This illusion is worth investigating in more detail. So my next study dealt with these topics, and then let me introduce the result in the next section. Alright, thank you, and thank you for watching me, and then see you later.